Savannah, thanks for coming over to meet me. I am getting excited about buying a new house in this market, and one of the challenges that I know that we're going to have is the fact that I have to sell my house. Right, all of my money, or the big chunk of my money, is tied up in my house, and so I understand that sellers nowadays are a little hesitant to take contingent contracts, but I don't want to get in a situation where I sell my house and then I've got nowhere to go and we can't find the perfect house for me. And so tell me how we're going to strategize and take care of me finding my next house and kind of pulling the money out of my current house.
Sure. Well, Jim, I appreciate you interviewing me to help you as your buyer's agent. And right now is probably the best time to buy and sell in this market, because you can get top dollar for your home. And like you mentioned, getting your equity out of your property. And with interest rates being so low, you can take advantage of that as well and have a pretty affordable payment. So there's really two strategies that we can go about this. One is we can go ahead and prep your home for market and put it up for sale and sell it. And then we can negotiate a leaseback period with the buyer. So what that does is that the property will close and then you will get all of your equity and money out of the property, and you'll be able to stay there either potentially for free, if not just covering that buyer's mortgage. And you could stay there 30, 60, 90 days, depending on how long that you need to stay in the property to identify your next home. So that's option number one. Option number two is we can go ahead, get you pre-qualified. And if you know exactly what you're looking for, Jim, and the certain neighborhoods, I can actually actively prospect to find an off-market property for you and potentially get you under contract on that home before even selling your home.
Wow.
So those are two different options that we can look at. How does that sound?
They both sound good. So talk about a little bit more about that second option. You would go out and actually look for a house for me that's not even on the market yet.
Yeah, absolutely, Jim. And what we can do is during our buyer consultation, we can narrow down specifically what you're looking for in different neighborhoods, square footage, bedroom count. And I can actually pull up in the tax records and find owners who have those types of properties. And I can call them, I can door knock them, I can mail them and see if anybody's interested. And that way, if we do find somebody, one, you're only competing against yourself. You're the only buyer who's going to be writing an offer on that property, making it more likely that the seller will accept your contingent offer, because we know as soon as we put your home on the market, it'll be sold in the first weekend.
Sure.
So how does that sound?
That sounds great. That sounds like a lot of extra work for you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I actually spend 2 to 3 hours a day cold calling already.
Sounds great. Martha, thanks for coming over to my house. And as you know, my kids have all moved out, and now Julie and I are thinking about selling the big house. And we want to buy another house. We want to downsize. But the challenge is all of our equity is tied up in this house. And so I'm kind of stuck. I don't know how to handle this. I know that sellers aren't taking contingent contracts these days, and yet we're contingent upon the sale of this house. And so I just really need some help on trying to figure out how to buy the next right house.
Well, that is a big problem. Is that the biggest concern you have right now with putting the home on the market right now, Jim?
Yep.
Okay, I can see your concern. But the fact of the matter is, a contingent offer where your home is already under contract has a little bit more weight in this market than just a contingent offer that you haven't put your house on the market yet. So we got to kind of figure out those two things.
Gotcha.
In addition to that, there are programs out there. I don't know if you've heard of them. Some lending programs where they actually will front you money and allow you to go in with a cash offer, and then as soon as you sell your current home, you pay that off, and there's some great benefits to you. And it's kind of unique, and it's been a real resurgence in this marketplace. And in addition, if you have some money in the bank that you could maybe borrow against your own money, that's another option called a bridge loan. And that will work sometimes.
I hadn't heard of either of those.
Yeah, but the good news is that I have gotten some contingent offers accepted. It's just all in how they're presented. And of course, we do need to get the house on the market to be able to make that work. So either way, we need to get started on that pretty quickly.
Well, we're okay with selling the house and putting it on the market right away. We're just concerned about selling, and now we have no place to go, right? Now what if we don't find the perfect house, and we're closing in 30 days, and now what do we do?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a stressor for sure.
Yeah.
I know that if we focus on it, and either you have some alternatives with the lending
Right.
programs, we can get this taken care of. It's happening all the time. And there are leasebacks
Okay.
potentials where you can actually stay in your home if you maybe get one of these lending programs where you can offer cash. And then you get 30, 60 days sometimes where you can actually go ahead and get your home sold and find a new one.
Sounds good. Thanks, Martha.
Yeah.